Hey everyone, it's Denise Brown. Welcome to our Listener Project informational meeting. Thanks so much to everybody who's here tonight, and thanks to everybody who's watching our recording. We're so grateful for your interest in this project. I am just getting over laryngitis, so I apologize for my voice. And I've got a big glass of water, so I think we can get through tonight's meeting. Okay, so I'm gonna give you an overview of what the project is, and then how you can become involved. So there's really two pieces of the project that came together from what we do in our training programs for coaches and facilitators who are going to serve family caregivers. We tell 4-minute stories in the training, and it's an opportunity for training program participants to share something about their experience and then to receive support from someone who's been trained in listening skills. And it's just a very different experience to share a story of your choice that you read from your notes or share from your heart to someone who is simply there to listen. There's no shoulding, there's no suggestions, there's no ideas. It's just a listener who receives the story and then asks for more. It rarely happens in our life where we connect with someone who simply listens and then wants to know more about the story. 2 years ago, my brother died suddenly, and I was thinking about him in his life, and it really struck me that he needed a good listener. And I started thinking, well, what are the skills of a good listener? Who do we want to connect with that we consider to be a good listener? So I developed a 2-part course called The Art of Listening that now is part of our project. So what the project does is marry family caregivers who tell a 4-minute story with listeners who have completed our Art of Listening course for about a 20-minute session of simply connecting. We did this first in January earlier this year. And at that time, I was both a listener and a storyteller in the program. And we happened to have a market researcher as one of our volunteer listeners. And I was a little nervous to have a market researcher as a volunteer listener go through my course because she is a professional listener. And what was interesting is she would share with Joan and I that what we were having her do was listen in a different way, that it was compelling for her to add some tools to her listening toolbox, so to speak. And it just so happened that I was matched with her and she was my listener. And it was soothing. It was incredibly soothing to be a storyteller in a safe space. So the storyteller and the listener are in a private Zoom room. It's just 2 people connecting through a story. And because the family caregiver or former family caregiver, you don't have to be in a current caregiving situation. As a former family caregiver, you might have the time to reflect on a story you want to share. But it's this idea that we get to tell our story. We get to write the narrative. We get to choose the words. And then it's received. And again, the listener wants more. It's really quite powerful. So putting this together, the Listener Project, I thought every family caregiver, every former family caregiver deserves to have an experience with a listener. And if you think about what happened during your caregiving experience, some things happened that probably left you speechless. And over time, you start to gather the words about the story, but you start to wonder, well, who could actually hear this story? And oftentimes our stories are full of pain, and it's very difficult to find someone who can sit with us in the pain And through the course, The Art of Listening, listeners learn how to just simply sit with the story and not feel the pressure to fix the situation, to take away the pain. It's just a listening partner. That's it. And I think everyone in a caregiving situation deserves that opportunity, that when they have found the words for a particular story, about a certain situation, about a particular relationship, that they are matched with a listener who can receive that story so that it becomes this release. I have released this story. It no longer has a hold on me. I no longer regret. I no longer revisit. I no longer regurgitate it in my head. It's out. It's out. And we hope that the release is what helps heal. Okay, so there's a nice picture of a listener. So here's what it is if you want to volunteer to be a listener. So as a volunteer, you complete the Art of Listening course. Now, if you've been through any of our coaching programs, you've already completed the Art of Listening course. You don't have to complete the course. That's 1 hour archived class, but everybody has to complete a 1 hour live class. So if you're new to any of our programs, you'd want to complete both. You'd want to watch the 1 hour archived class, which teaches you some skills to use in a listening session. And then you join us for one 1 hour live training where we go through some practice sessions and then we talk out the logistics of our October 19th event. We want you to be prepared. We want you to feel ready. We want you to feel supported so that when you meet in your private Zoom room with your storyteller, you are relaxed and ready to receive. So as a volunteer, you complete the Art of Listening course. Again, you receive immediate access to a 1 hour archived course, and then you register to join Joan and I for one 1 hour live class. And the dates of that live class are listed on the slide. So you just have an opportunity to pick one of those dates to join us for the live training. And again, during the live training, we do some practicing, and we also talk out the logistics. So you're ready on October 19th. And then as a listener, you're going to join us for 1 hour on October 19th. That's the actual date of the event, at either noon Eastern time or 7 p.m. Eastern time. So you have your choice, noon or 7 p.m. Eastern time. And then as a listener, you'll listen to 2 stories. The family caregiver is going to tell you one 4-minute story, and then we're going to actually equip you with follow-up questions and statements to keep the conversation going. And you'll probably be with your family caregiver for 15 to 20 minutes. What we learned when we did this for the first time is that oftentimes the listeners wanted to group together after the storyteller left to just say, "Oh my gosh, that was fabulous. That was wonderful. What an experience." So we're putting in a little bit of time between the 2 storytellers for the listeners to actually have time with other listeners to debrief a little bit and then meet with the second listener. So you'd have 2 storytellers that you meet with at the top of the hour and then at 1/2 the hour. The storyteller, the family caregiver, could request that you record the story, but it's not required. It could just be a story that's shared. It could be a story that's recorded just for the family caregiver, or it could be a story that the family caregiver wants archived and included on our community, which is called Caring Our Way. Okay, so those are the listeners. And then the storytellers tell a 4-minute story. And oftentimes people tell me, I don't know what story do I tell? And I think of it as either a story about a situation, a story about a decision, a story about a day, a story about a relationship, a story about you during caregiving, a story about your caregiving experience. All could work. So anything that you think, wow, I'd love to tell a story about this situation, that's the story. If you're a storyteller, you do not have to memorize your story. You can write notes. You could use note cards. You could have a script and read from a script. That's okay. You are not required to memorize it. And something that I think is really helpful is because you know that you have 4 minutes. Oftentimes people will do a little practicing to make sure that it's 4 minutes. And our listeners are trained to help you if you're going over 4 minutes. So our listeners also keep time for you. But if you want to, you could practice before October 19th just to see where you are in terms of time. One of the things that's also nice about this is you start to really understand the story when you start to work the story to tell the story. So it starts to come to life as you work through, what's the story? Why do I want to tell this story? And I like to remind everybody that a good story has a beginning, a middle, and an end. Okay, so we hope that this project, let's see, Corey, you're asking me about dates. So let me see. Let me go back. So the date of the listener project is October 19th. So that's the right date, October 19th. Yeah, October 19th. And then if you are a listener, you're going to join a 1-hour live class. And one of the live class dates is October 16th. You choose one of these 3 options. The actual date of the event is October 19th. Okay, so the goal is that we do this on a regular basis. We do this so that family caregivers can tell a story, but we also offer it to opportunities for instance, the workplace. Maybe an employer has a day of service where employees give back to their community. Well, what if employees gave back to other employees who are family caregivers and that they did this listener project as a day of service? What if they also offered this as a community program and gave back to family caregivers in their community, wherever they're based, and had employees volunteer to be listeners? So there's different ways that this can actually become something that is more than us just doing it. Other organizations could sign on and start to offer this as really this amazing volunteer opportunity for employees or students at universities or medical students who sit and listen to family caregivers tell 4-minute stories. I mean, wouldn't that be something? Wouldn't that be powerful? So we're starting here, but we're not finishing here. This is where we want to start. Okay. So we have a special space on our community, which is called Caring Our Way. And on the next slide, there's the link, and I'll also put the link in the chat room. You can join our special space. And when you do that, you'll be prompted to actually fill out a form if you want to be a storyteller, and fill out a different form if you want to be a listener. And when you complete those forms, basically you're signing up to be a listener or a storyteller. You'll be prompted with next steps. If you sign up to be a listener, you'll be prompted to the Art of Listening class. So you'll start that course so that you finish it up before October 19th. And then if you sign up for a storyteller, you just tell us when you want to tell the story on October 19th, and then we'll continue to keep you posted and share some ideas for you about what story you could tell. We'd love for you to share about this project on social media, so we'll also provide you with social media graphics that you can share and blurbs that you can put in your newsletter or post on Facebook or wherever you're active on social media, or just simply send an email to colleagues you know who are in a caregiving experience and you want to invite them to be a part of this as well. Okay, so let me stop sharing and put the link in the chat room. So if anybody would like to sign up, you've got the link. And I'd love to answer any questions that you might have. How does it sound to you guys?
I love it. I'm going to recommend it to my work team.
Oh, good. What is it that that resonates with you?
Well, for me, the ability to tell the story is very appealing. I love to tell stories about my dad, even though the caregiving experience was painful. But I like that cathartic nature of the experience. And my workplace does have a day of service coming up. And several members of my team just mentioned today in a team meeting the ways that they're involved in caregiving. And so it really, this strikes me as something that would be really useful to more people than myself.
How about that? How about that? That's wonderful. That's wonderful. Yeah, I totally agree, Deborah, that one of the best stress therapies is to have a good listener. Just someone who receives the story and then wants more. Because oftentimes people, they get a glimpse of the story and then they just are like, oh no, I cannot hear anymore. But our listeners want to know more, want to engage in a conversation about the story. So in total, if you're a listener who volunteers, you're volunteering 3 hours, 2 hours to complete the course, one hour on October 19th. And as a storyteller, you're really donating about 20 minutes of your time, and that is to tell the story to a listener and engage in a conversation about it. Anything didn't make sense to you as I went through it?
Hey, Denise, this is Carrie. I just want to make sure. So when we go fill out the survey, it's gonna eventually there'll be a place where we sign up to pick either the 18th or the 29th or the 16th live. It'll walk us through the next steps, or
So
is that a separate registration?
I'm actually going to show you
Okay.
where it is. So when you fill out that form, it directs you to join the listener project. And when you join that, let's see if I can do this. Okay, so here's what it looks like on Carrying Our Way. So you'll be prompted to join. You might already have joined, Carrie. And you've already taken the Art of Listening archived course. So you don't have to take the archived course, but in that archived course area, you're going to go to events, and that's when you register to join one of the live trainings. So when you are, so I put that link in the chat room for you to join the space. And when you join the space, you'll go to this area where it says Caregiving Listener Project. And then under the featured section, become a listener, become a storyteller. So depending on what you want to do, and you can do both, because I did both, you just fill out the form for either listener and or storyteller. And then the directions follow after that. You can always send me an email. You can also send me a chat message through Caring Our Way if you have any questions. And some of you guys are active on Caring Our Way, so it's a nice way for you to connect with each other there too. Joan, what would you add?
Hmm. The Denise, may I ask a question? This is Cheryl Parnell. I apologize. I was trying to get online. I couldn't get online. But I'm looking at the link that you had posted for on the Caregivers Listener Project. And so the Art of Listening course, is it mandatory that we have to take that course?
Yep. Yep.
Okay, so I don't know if I've taken that course yet, but I know in the present times I have taken courses with you.
Yeah, but yeah, I don't think you've taken the Art of Listening.
Okay.
Yeah, and you'll enjoy it. You'll find it really enlightening.
Okay, because it just stuck out to me when I was strolling, and I was like, wait a minute, before I become a storyteller, I need to
If you're
make sure that.
Oh, go
Mhm.
ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, you're fine.
If you are going to be a storyteller, you don't have to take the listener course.
Okay.
So the listener course is just for listeners. Storytellers just really write out, think through, come up with a 4-minute story.
Okay.
Yeah, Lily, go for it.
Thank you. I always like to try and think long term as America gets more and more diverse. How can we help you make this available in languages other than English?
Oh, wouldn't that be fabulous?
So please teach me again what you just said. If there's like a script to teach this, there's only the training for the listener side. So that type of course script could be translated into languages, whereas the storyteller person would just come in and storytell. So the materials that would need translation are just the training for the listener side.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. I just wanted to compartmentalize how that would happen. Thank you.
Yeah, that would be fabulous. That would be fabulous. Wouldn't that be wonderful? I had I had interns that were bilingual this past semester, spring semester from U of I, University of Illinois, and we were able to record some interviews with family caregivers in Spanish, which, I mean, I was slow to get that done, but it was really, it's wonderful to be able to do that.
I'm just still a little confused on the dates. I'm sorry. So if we want to be a listener, we have to sign up for either September 18th, 29th, or October 16th
Correct.
and listen to someone?
No, that's when you complete the second hour of the 2-hour course.
Oh, okay. And the first hour is what's archived, is that it?
Right, and you've already watched that, so you would only join.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because you've completed that through your coach training.
Oh, okay.
When I send out the recording, I'll follow up with an email with the recording. I'll include a link to the slide deck too. Joan, what did I miss?
I think you've covered it all. The only thing I would add is like just from the experience last year, I was a little bit like, I don't know how this is going to work, but going through the live training, because I had never used Zoom breakout rooms, things like that. So going through the live training was really helpful because you really got a chance to listen to someone's story and kind of talk about it afterwards in terms of, what was helpful, what wasn't on the listener side. So it does, I think if anyone's kind of hesitant about being a listener, at least go through the training and then you can decide at that point
Right.
I think once you go through the live training, you'll feel a lot more comfortable with the process.
Right.
And I think the fact that we've added more time for just the listeners to debrief after they connect with a storyteller on October
Mhm.
19th is a good idea. And we found that really helpful
Mhm.
last time, that people just really wanted to say, wow, I had an amazing experience.
But Joan, that was a good part that you shared, because I think for myself, I want to start from the beginning. The listening, just walking, taking steps before I become a storyteller, and
Right.
sharing my experience. I want to be able to listen to others also. So I think I'll start. I always say I started from the bottom, now I'm here. So I think that's where I'll start at.
Excellent.
Hey Denise, it's Carrie again. So I'm on the Art of Listening course, and there's a link. It says, let us know your preference for a 1-hour time slot to join us on October 19th. But when you click on that hyperlink, it takes you to the January 16th
Oh, okay.
form. Okay.
I'll fix it.
Thank you. Okay.
Wait, where was it? You know what? Where was it that it did that?
It says instructions and next steps. Thank you so much for being here. It's the Art of Listening course. And then another window pops up.
Oh,
And it
okay.
says,
So
thank you.
instructions and next steps.
Yeah, and there's a hyperlink there. The third bullet says, let us know your preference for October 19th. And when I click on that link, that hyperlink,
Oh,
it says
yeah.
schedule your time slot for January
Oh.
16th.
Okay, you know why? Because I did it a different way now. Okay, yeah, I can take that out. I can fix that right now. Okay, excellent. Thank you.
See, it's helpful having fresh eyes go through these things.
Yeah, because I'm using the template of what we did before,
Right.
but improving the template of what we did before. Yeah, okay, I just fixed it. Thank you, Carrie. I always like it when I could fix things like right away. And I don't have to move a mountain to fix it or figure out like, why did I do that? How do I undo it? Okay. Does everybody feel like they have their questions answered? Their needs met? Okay, so we'd love to have you guys join us. And we'd love for you to spread the word. Because typically we have listeners and we sometimes need more storytellers. So feel free to let everybody know about this. Because again, every family caregiver deserves to have a good listener. Okay, thanks everybody so much for being here. I appreciate you taking your time out tonight to be here. And we look forward to connecting with you later this month and in October, and then seeing you on October 19th.
Thank you. This is wonderful. I'm super
Oh,
excited.
Yes,
I'm
thank you.
so excited
Thank
about
you.
this,
oh
and
my
I will
gosh.
pass on the
Thank
word.
you. This
Excellent.
was awesome.
Oh,
It is.
good.
We are super.
Yeah.
This is
Okay,
gonna
I'm
be
gonna
really
sleep.
lovely.
Oh, I'm gonna sleep so good tonight. Thank you guys so much.
I'll make sure I share it within the community of caregivers.
Yes. Yeah,
Yeah.
that would be great, Cheryl. Thank you so much.
You're
Yeah,
welcome.
thanks to all of you. So appreciate all that you're doing and so appreciate your support.
I think this is great. I think I had signed up for last January and it got canceled. I remember something got canceled and I was very disappointed. So I'll do it again.
Yeah.
Someone got sick or something and it got canceled.
I was sick. So I wonder if one of the trainings, I can't remember what it was.
Something, yeah. So
So
have to
Denise,
figure it out.
you'll
Because
send the link to emails for us. You'll send the links. I'm sorry. I apologize. Would you send the links out to our email address so we can sign up, register.
Yep. I'll follow
Okay.
up tomorrow with a link to the recording, a link to the PowerPoint, and then links to sign up as a
Okay.
listener and a storyteller. And then if, when you go through anything, it looks goofy, you see something that just think, oh, I don't think it should be this, just reach out, and let me know, and then I'll fix it.
Okay.
What times are we choosing on either the 17th, the 29th, or October 16th?
Okay, let me just pull
So
up.
the 18th is 7 p.m. Eastern.
Okay,
The 29th is noon Eastern. And the 16th is 7 p.m. Eastern.
7 p.m. Okay.
Thank you, Joan.
Sure. I just happened to have jotted it all down. So it was right there.
I hope you feel better, Denise.
No, what I am much better. Like my throat isn't sore, so I am much better.
Well,
Yeah,
that's good. There's nothing worse than being sick in the summer.
I know. And I had taken a couple days off, and I was sick when I was trying to take time off. No, yeah.
Okay, that doesn't count then.
I
Yeah,
know, I
that's a
know.
do-over.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. Yeah. Oh well, it's okay. It's okay.
So
Okay.
Denise, I'm going to hang on because I need to talk to you about a couple of those dates.
Okay. All right. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you, guys.
All right.
Bye.
Good night.
Thank you.
Good night. Bye.
Bye all. Thank